Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 39 of Let's Play Tyranny. In the last part, we were, we finished the Burning Library, and we're now going to go to report to the Iron Hearth, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Heath, whatever. I hate that word, because it's just, it doesn't sound like it looks, so it's a weird word for me. Anywho, we're going to go report to Graven Ash, and see how he's doing. See if he still wants to murder us for, you know, snuffing out his grandchild and his daughter. Probably does, as long as we don't bring it up. You know, you never know. He might not want to murder us as much. But I also did upgrade Barrick's main armor to Masterwork because I thought it'd be amusing. Needless to say, it was. But I didn't bother doing the rest of his armor because I didn't think it'd be a point. Lantry's about to level up as well. Fucking old bastard, leveling up all the time. My scouts tell me that you made incredible strides in the Burning Library. If the chorus has been ousted from that respiratory of law, then I am eager for your report. First things first, the Edict of Fire. Is it truly over then? I satisfied the terms of Kyros' edict. Cautious wording if I've ever heard it. Be assured, fatebinder, that your conduct is always under scrutiny. Tunon is not the only Archon with vested interest in your behaviour. I have stayed up nights wondering if the flames of Kyros' wrath might spread out from the library and consume the world with the tears. But that is ridiculous. The Overlord would never allow such a fate to befall us. Thank you for putting an old man's fears to rest. My efforts at the Burning Library were successful. Then the Scarlet Chorus has been ousted from control of ousted from the contested lands, and the forbidden knowledge wrenched from their grasp. Tell me more. Marek is well in the contested lands. Good. He can help maintain the peace and ensure that the wisdom of the sage falls into no undeserving hands. Have you anything else to report? The Silent Archive is destroyed. That is for the best. An unguarded respiratory of forbidden knowledge is in the front of Kyros, and we are all safe for its absence. Have you anything else? I killed the centaur and a gang. The tears will not miss another louse or her brood of vermin, and neither will I. Good work. Have you anything else? That's all. What's our next steps? Our advantage against our enemy grows, and we can not miss an opportunity to strike a decisive blow against the Archon of Secrets. You have been an asset of unsurpassed value, but there is more still to be done. Now that we have two regions under our control, the disfavored presence is felt almost throughout all of the tiers. This is as strong as we've ever been. Ash gives you a determined nod, but there's something behind it that takes you by surprise. Then you notice that he has gone pale, his eyes unfocused. The Icon shakes his head and collects himself. When he shifts his attention to you, you catch a momentary confusion reflected in his gaze, as if he's trying to account for the last several seconds. I saw that look plenty of times on the family farm, and it's never a good sign. Someone is getting ready to be put out to pasture. General, we await your orders at your leisure. Barrick tips his head at the Archon's concern. The time has come for us to gather and descend upon the Stone Sea, where the voiced Narat and his gangs have dug their miserable warren. Once we've dealt with the Archon, I plan to melt down his twisted helmet and drop it in the deepest ocean. First, we have to secure a base in the region. That will give us a position of strength to finally rally our fighters and take the war to the Archon's doorsteps. Are you ready? You look pale. Actually, no, I'm ready. Where do I start? I've sent an advance unit of disfavored forces into the Stone Sea, but the Scarlet Chorus present in the region has them threatened in a location called Howling Rock. I dispatched a support unit to assist, which you can find at the Jagged Maw Shrine. They will need your help clearing a path to Howling Rock. What can I expect to find there? Since the region of the Azure fell to ruin, the population of wild beastmen has expanded significantly. No doubt the Scarlet Chorus have used this to their advantage and seek to conscript as many of the brutes into their mob as possible. The city of Halfgate is their last bastion of stability, though of course is held by the Scarlet Chorus now. So why does the support need my help? A tribe of beastmen occupies the region, and they aren't quick to tolerate a human element in what they imagine to be their territory. They are of no concern of mine, so cut down as many as you see fit to complete the mission. Garb yourself in their skins for all that I care. Just get my soldiers through. Beasts are more than capable fighters, and they've ripped more than one of our countrymen to shreds during the conquest. Ash has no love for their kind. Has no love lost for their kind. My Earthshakers have a plan to blight the land, starving the Scarlet Chorus in their home territory. Offer them any help they need, and see my will done upon their voices in wrath. We are nearly at the end. I can feel the Archon's doom ahead of us like a piece of the end of the slaughter. What is it you require? Nothing, thank you. And we've got fatebinder Regulus, fatebinder Galerius. Forgive me the curtains of this rushed missive. The matter is too urgent for the luxury of formalities. I know you braved the flaming of the ruins of Citadel, William Citadel, the archive. Did you find it? Is it safe? I'm going to tell him we destroyed it. I consider the knowledge hidden in the outside archive to the flame. I consigned it to the flame, as per the Overlord's restriction on forbidden knowledge. Surely you're expecting nothing less of me. Fatebinder, you are to report to the bastard city at once. Be prompt, lest I mistake your tardiness for reluctance. Send for confirmation. Fate by Archon Tunon. As you request, I will appear in your court in good time. So, looks like we're off to the bastard city, guys. Yeah, whoop whoop. Oh, I'm going to jump off a bridge after doing that. Fucking hell. So yeah, we'll get ourselves out of this region and we'll go talk to our good Lord Tunon. Because our power is bulging at the seams. 1300. So we've only got one edict left. The Edict of Stone. And personally, I don't think we've got anywhere near enough fucking artifacts. Or masterworks. But we can look past that for now. Bastard City, Tunon's Court. We don't want to be late. We can go do the Shattered Bastion now as well then, seeing as we're going here. Excellent, we await your return. You fool! The archive was a recipe like no other. It contained the collected scholarship of centuries. It should have been studied and examined by those well versed in what lore has been restricted and what must be preserved, not burned in a hole like so much dung to the fuel of the morning fire. You disappoint me, Galerius. You disappoint Terratus, and you disappoint the future. Well, if Tunon had asked me to keep the knowledge, I would have. Wasn't my job to ask, it was my job to do.
You return as summoned, despite the weight of responsibility on your shoulders. The court appreciates your devotion to our good work. It should come as no surprise that your activities are closely monitored. As an extension of Kyros' law in the frontier, your progress is a topic of some interest. I sent you on a mission to bring order to the chaos of this civil war. Not enough time has passed for me to expect any significant progress, but I am curious about your findings all the same. I want to make sure your time outside the court's shadow is being used effectively. I understand that you've made a name for yourself in the ranks of the disfavored. Good. With the confidence of his soldiers, you should have no trouble rooting out corruption or chaos in Graven Ash's elite legion.
We're disciplined, so I'm happy to be an asset to Kyros' forces and to pull the chaos out by the roots.
That is all this court has ever demanded of you. You do well to recall your duties with such exacting precision. You have spent some time on your own recognizance. The efforts of our military and the challenges they face should be no mystery to you. Tell me, are you any closer to determining which of the Archons is at fault for the troubles of this campaign?
I do not have significant information to make an informed accusation.
Come now. Your decision does not bind you to an accusation at this time. I only wish to know if you have had success uncovering any evidence of misdeed or malfeasance. If you believe either of the Archons has acted in a manner not befitting their station, give voice to it.
Well, there's no question. The voice of the Rat is guilty of inciting chaos.
Interesting. On what grounds do you make this claim?
The voice of the Rat... Wait, oh, it's this one. No, this one. The voice of the Rat gave disfavored battle plans to the Starwalt defenders. The Judicator weighs your statement with interest. The space between the eyes of his mask narrows. Though the change is too gradual for you to follow.
Material evidence is hallowed to the court. I respect your diligence in collecting it, Fatebinder. You bring hope to my ambitions of bringing order to this divisive campaign. Be sure that you remember this and any other evidence you identify when you are called upon to present your findings in a more formal manner. I look forward to receiving your full report. I will summon you again at the appropriate time. If there's nothing further, you're dismissed.
Farewell. Again in the way of my lord. Let's go talk to Bleeding Mark, see if he's got anything to say to us, like, oh, I'm going to stab you to death soon, mate. Fucking watch out, you know, something like that.
Remember years back when I told you justice is just the name for the biggest sword in the realm? Claiming the Dauntless is part of establishing your own might, your own authority. Even if you dislike its heft, I'd advise you to keep the blade close. It has symbolic value beyond its martial applications. Of course, any authority you may be carving for yourself is sanctioned only with the understanding that it's for the greater glory of Kyros.
On it.
Never actually heard Bleeding Mark speak. It's weird. I don't like it. It's fucking... It just doesn't suit the guy. Like, it's different. Encountering the Bastard Tier. Even in the midst of the war between the Archons, travel along the long-conquered roads of the Bastard Tier tends to be relatively safe and uneventful. A river meanders slowly aside the road, and the plains sweep openly before you towards distant towering mountains and the hazy grey line of the old walls on the horizon. From your vantage atop the rise, you can make out a far-flung settlement and small strands of trees. On a log off the road ahead, you make out a young tearsman, not quite a young woman grown, working at an object in her lap. When she spies you, she leaps to her feet, waving to capture your attention. I must speak with her. The girl smiles there. Fuck words. The girl smiles warmly at your approach, though the expression is falter slightly when she sees your heraldry. Tall and a tad lanky, the wife boasts an unkempt mop of brown hair and large eyes and the color of unpolished peridot. She asks if you are interested in a trade, an item she scoured for the handful of rings she needed to purchase some chickens. She presents the object proudly, wrapped in a long sheet of clean cloth, and you surprise it's a well-kept blade of expertly worked iron. I'm going to examine the sword. You ask the woman to see the blade more closely, and after eyeing you suspiciously for a moment, she passes you the weapon. Beric steps forward at the moment you begin to unwrap it. By the great general! He exclaims. This is a disfavored blade, and here! He gestures a symbol of the stamped near the sword's hilt. This is the mark of a forge-bound who made it. He turns attention to the girl. Where did you find this? He asks, striding towards her as he shrinks from him. I'm going to purchase the sword. You gave the girl a thin leather cord, heavy with rings in exchange for the weapon. She thanks you for profusely trying to get the cord around her neck and tugging the rings beneath her tunic. Asked where she got the blade. She explains that she found the sword in a stand of trees among the fields, an hour or so south of the road. You know that this is an area you likely would never have visited otherwise. I'm going to bribe her. You'll have to get a few rings if she'll lead you to the place where she found the blade. Her eyes widen at the copper, and she accepts with an enthusiastic nod. I'm going to follow her. She leads you south across the field and over gently rolling hills, sparsely cultivated with grains and vegetables. You even come to a lonely copse of trees, jutting out from the wind-combed grass like a stone from the sea. Within the shade of the oak, you find a small squad of corpses, bloated and reeking, stripped of their stomachcloths. I'm going to examine the bodies. Barak Foss was needed at the sight of the slain. Brothers Mertius and Kyros, Sister Julia, members of the mighty 7th cohort, slain here and left with less dignity than they afforded to a butchered pig. His head turns slowly towards you. If these lands know no civility, it is not our duty to introduce it. I'm going to search the... I'm going to bury the bodies. You and Barrack set to dig in a grave to the departed. The sun hangs blood red just above the horizon before your work is done. Soaked in sweat, you look down on the three nigh-identical mounds with stones as markers. I regret more of the Legion is not here to commemorate this moment, but at least my brothers and sisters can have some dignity. Barrack sighs sadly. He looks to you. Thank you, Fatebinder. My fellows may be far from home, but they would have appreciated the honour you've shown them. I must search the scene. While you locate a few scraps of broken iron and shredded leather, and find more than a little dry blood, it seems these bodies were thoroughly looted. It's surprising that the girl found even this blade left. When you ask her about it, she says what happened. She says she happened to find it pressed into the mud under one of the bodies. Question the girl. You turn to the girl, demanding she tell you what she knows what happened here. She takes a step back, surprised by the scrutiny, and protests that everything here is as she found it, albeit a few days older. She doesn't know with certainty what occurred, though she mentions Scarlet Chorus raiders are a common sight in these parts. I'm going to leave and report my findings. You take out the parchment quill and decide to inform about what you found here. Oh, and decide to inform. I'm informing and Tunon. I'm going to inform Tunon. Before continuing your journey, you draft a brief report of your findings to the court. A few days later, you receive a formal missive of apprehension from the Archon of Justice. Appreciation from the Archon of Justice. This is further evidence, he purports, of the chaos gripping the tears. Remain vigilant, he warns, and continue forward through the day with unclouded eyes. And this is just a basic disfavored sword. So, we gain nothing, but apparently we don't lose anything, so that's a win. And we're now at the Shattered Bastion, which is I think it's from the Bastard's Wound DLC, which makes sense. We're in the Bastard tier, so the tier of the Bastards. We are currently all vast. Yeah, we need to rest basically. But first things first, let's level up Lantry. We'll level him up with a bit more health because he's a healer. Stance Frozen, Stanch Magic Mage Slayer. I like that. Arcane Judgment and Power Watcher's Judgment to strike foes in the target with an arcane attack. Enemies leave their endurance will and... I don't know. See, this is the problem. I don't know. Arcane Shield sounds cool. But I kind of want to get him down here. I want Lawmaster, definitely. And I need 6 talent points. I need to, you know, I'm going to go Stance, I think Mage Slayer, maybe. Now we'll go for Stance Frozen. But we are going to rest before we do anything, just to make sure we don't have fatigued. Right. There we go. So what's this? Find the sage that summoned... yes, a sage summoned me here, that's right. So I can finally go back to my normal sim position now that we're actually doing something. Oh yeah, Lantry.
On it.
Wait, is that his new stance? Like bent over and looking like a right prick. I'm not complaining, I'm just asking. Who the fuck is that? A group of unkempt, filthy commoners huddle among the motley of barrels and boxes. The heavy stenches of sweat, stale food, and grass cling to the still air. The presumptive leader of the group stands into your center and moves towards you, weapon in hand. The approaching woman, olive cheeks, seem drawn and swallow. Dark circles shadow eyes that survey you before searching over your shoulder. Seemingly reassured by her brief inspection, she lowers her weapon and slightly so that it's not pointed directly at your chest. Her muscles remain taut, however, her stance of that of a veteran soldier ready to respond at the first line of aggression. You didn't bring the chorus in with you? And if you're with the disfavored, you'd have loudly bragged about your pedigree already. So that leaves me wondering, just who are you? You know, we'll extend the common courtesy. Galeris, fatebinder of Tunon, and you are? A fatebinder? Fantastic. Her tone suggests that it's anything but. You're here to kill us. Or can we convince you to keep our presence secret from the chorus madman? What do you want exactly? Actually, you still haven't told me who you are. She blinks rapidly. Right, I haven't. The name's Gwyneth. I'm the guide for this little band. Used to be more. Used to be a mercenary. But no one's offering coin for a blade anymore. If you want born north of the gates of judgment, there's nothing for a warrior save cloth of crimson or a mass grave. Red or dead, as they say. She sighs, so I stopped wearing. Or warring, more or less. What do you want exactly? We need to get back inside the mountain. We'd come out. She falls silent for a moment, and then a slight shudder runs through her. We'd come out to scavenge for supplies. When we get back, we found crimson assholes crawling over the place. You don't look like I'm in a position to make this worth my while. You're not wrong. Clearly, we don't have much to offer in advance. What we do have, we've hidden away in the mountain. Inside the mountain? We need to get back inside the mountain we'd come out of. We come out. She falls silent a moment, then yeah, we come out scavenge for supplies. So you live in a cave? Well, it isn't our first choice of homes, but we've taken shelter in a nearby cave. While we're out looking for supplies, those chorus goons somehow buried the cave entrance with rubble. We could excavate a path, but not with the chorus spears prodding at our rears while we dig. Help us get rid of the scarlet shit stains, and we'll scrounge up some appropriate recompense. I know that they've got one of your people up there, one of those creepy scout twins. Not sure I can much help he is to you, but keep in mind that if things get bloody. I don't know what her crimes are, so I can't really say what she's done wrong. She doesn't they don't seem to be doing anything wrong. Oh wait, she's squatting in her old ruin. I've heard enough. Your crimes are in execution. My crimes? Are you insane? She looks desperately to her patriots. To arms! Kill the fatebinder. I can't actually say what this bitch did wrong, but you know, the game gave me an option, and I'm choosing to murder them. As is my prerogative.
Will do.
These fuckers are way too easy to kill. Where's the fucking challenge? Something tells me that this was not worth killing them.
Will do.
Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to have to end this part here. But you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next part. See you guys then.